sky.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Foolish Youth Podcast. We are bringing in a camera for this one. We already tried that once, but due to unforeseen circumstances, no one will ever see that. So,
It's kind of ironic because I remember at the beginning of the podcast, I was like, Dan, are you sure you're not biting off more than you can chew with this one? Because we had two cameras going, and there'll never be evidence of me that I can point to because it's gone. So like, did I really say it? Who knows?
Yeah. Like we said a lot of messed up stuff on that last podcast.
Yeah, you endorsed. Like,
whoa, okay, joke, it's a joke. Oh man, and welcome to the Foolish Youth Podcast.
So like, at what point? Oh, are we back on?
No, yeah, we're back on.
So at what point, like, if we keep this thing going, at what point do we change the name of Foolish Youth? Like, at what point are we no longer youth?
No, we will always be foolish youth. That is more of a metaphorical.
We're never gonna be like foolish adults.
Foolish adolescents.
Like, what if we're doing it when we're 75?
Well,
foolish seniors.
Then that's when it becomes like the metaphor, where it's like the foolish youth within us is what is
maybe
presented.
Like through the podcast we would rediscover our youth.
Yeah, exactly. See that? And our foolishness, because that's what makes us young and alive.
Yeah, this might be the kind of podcast that doesn't hit the mainstream until, like, we're in our 50s.
It could be 100 years later after the apocalypse happens, and some tribes come across these tapes.
These audio files.
And somehow we become, like, a religion in the future where they're like, the almighty foolish youth. But, like, haven't you ever thought about that, though? How things that are meaningless nowadays could be, like, the biggest things after an apocalypse, if that's all people find. Because without context, it doesn't really...
Yeah.
You can't put that importance on it without the context, you know?
Like, well, yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like, if you look back at, like, people who do archaeology digs or whatever they're called, from, like, sites that are, like, thousands of years old, like, the only things they'll, like, discover are the most, like, mundane things that they'll discover, like, a kettle or something. And it's just, like, this had no significance, like, thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's, like, all they got. So they're just, like, or they discover, like, the oldest toilet or something.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, random stuff like that.
And it's funny because it's so ridiculous to, like, people of the time would be like, yo, why the fuck do you care about my toilet?
Yeah.
But it's just like thousands of years this toilet has survived.
Like, imagine if there's an apocalypse and then like another apocalypse or whatever, and then like thousands of years now, like civilizations rebuild. They search like the place where your apartment was, and all they find was like your old microphone. They're like, "What is this?
What is this?" It was some source of magic that they tried to use, Like,
yeah.
And it's funny because they'll come to conclusions that make no sense, but like they just.
Like, was this a kind of bowl for them? Did they eat from
from this microphone? What did they do with it? Blue. What does blue mean? The great god Blue. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Might say it was like an idol or something. Did they worship the mic?
Do you ever wonder, though, if, like, we got idols all wrong? Like, when they first started, like, people just started making statues because they like statues. Yeah. And now we're like, they worship them. They're like, no, we just thought this golden statue was kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
I feel like that's what I would do.
And also, like, what if the dinosaurs just look... Because we have this, like, picture of the dinosaurs. Like, you see pictures of them, but, like, we never really know what exactly they look like. We have skeletons of them, but, like, that's all we're basing it on.
Like, what if they were, like, fucking bright pink and, like, purple?
Dude, what if they were furry, man? What if they...
Oh, they have feathers and shit?
Yeah.
That would blow my mind.
Yeah.
If you just saw, like, the super furry Tyrannosaurus Rex running around. What if dinosaurs aren't even real?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go into conspiracy theories
Okay.
here. Because, actually, I wanted to talk about this. Have you seen the Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Eddie Bravo podcast?
I attempted to listen to it.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I think that's one of Joe Rogan's best podcasts. Because it's thoroughly entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing is so funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people are missing with Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, this guy, like, he said a lot of dumb shit. Let's be real. Audience at home, we all know he said dumb shit, all right?
We're not endorsing.
We're not
Alex Jones.
endorsing anything he says. Like, when you call school shooting survivors actors, like, that's a little rough. But in terms of, like, conspiracies, entertainment, and shit like that, I think he's really good. Like, I think he puts a lot of work into the conspiracies, and he puts a lot of effort in, and some of them are really interesting. Like, he talks about how the Nazis were able to contact aliens during World War II, and they were giving them technology that was helping them kind of win the war.
Yeah.
But they were just a little bit behind by the time they lost. Like, they were thinking of making UFOs, and they were really obsessed with, like, the occult, so, like, shit like that.
These Nazis?
Yeah, Nazis. Okay. And to me, it was very interesting. That's the one thing people got to take, is, like, yeah, all these conspiracies might not be true. That's the whole point of a conspiracy theory. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't go into a conspiracy theory thinking my whole life's gonna change. If they bring up some good points that are like, oh, that's kind of interesting, like, that's cool. But just take conspiracies for what they are.
Yeah.
They're just fun.
Well, yeah, there's, like, definitely conspiracies that can be dangerous, though.
Oh.
Like, you get stuff with, like, accusing, like, victims of, mass shootings of, like, you know, being actors, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a bad side to it, I would say. But, like, when we're talking about stuff like the moon landing or, like, the JFK assassination, it's essentially harmless, right? Like, you're just... Because you're not really hurting anyone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, let me rephrase what I said. More like conspiracies of, like, the beyond and stuff that doesn't...
Or, like,
include
UFOs, like, stuff like that.
But that's just fun. I find it very interesting. I love people's talks on DMT, like Joe Rogan talks about how DMT might be
Is DMT a psychedelic?
It's a psychedelic where you take it, and if you take enough, you have to close your eyes because what you see in front of you is so intense that if your eyes are open, it's harder to see.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's harder to see with your eyes open. So you just close your eyes, and for like 30 minutes, you're in another dimension. That's what people say. And, like, Joe Rogan's talked about that. I'll put a link in the description to Joe Rogan since, you know.
Well, he needs the viewers.
Yeah, big podcasts like us. We, like, Staminator, go watch Joe Rogan, all right?
But watch us first.
And make sure you comment down below, FYP sent me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan, like, he's just starting out, and he's pretty slow growth, but, like, Joe Rogan, like, we'd still be down to have you on the podcast. Like, get you some publicity.
We just want to help you out, man. Like, I know you don't have, like, we're very skilled at this. I don't know if you know this, but, like...
We can give you some tips.
I don't want to say trained professionals. I feel like masters of the microphone is a more correct term for us, you know? We are masters of the microphone. So, Joe, you ever want to learn... Come visit us in Canada.
Okay, so I just finished my Tim Hortons.
Oh, so did I. By the way, this podcast is sponsored by Tim Hortons. You see that? Okay, we don't have a lot of editing. We don't have a lot of cameras. So there's the best sponsorship we can do.
Yep.
And it's free. We didn't even get paid for this sponsorship. We're just doing it out of the goodness of our...
It's like, you know,
heart.
It's a goodwill sponsorship.
And
so I will be rolling my rim first. Yeah, cool your jets there.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't know this was a one-person...
If I win $10,000, it will all be invested into the podcast.
Hell no, man. We're going to fucking Malibu.
I'm calling my shot right here. Alright.
I would drop out of school right now.
I see those. I see French writing.
Oh,
Do not speak French, though. Ooh.
You gotta work on your thumbs, man.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, me neither. I usually use my teeth. I'm not gonna
Please play again.
Oh.
At least they were nice about it, though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I can't
see?
even be mad.
You know what? Now it's my turn. Oh, Jesus. There's still coffee drips in that, man. If that was at my apartment, done.
Podcast would be done.
Done.
You take the other tripod and smash me over the head with it.
Yeah. Oh, also, we were trying to get 2 cameras in, but due to, like, quality and just kind of editing issues.
Doability. You know.
We're doing one at a time right now,
Yeah.
all right? So comment down below if you like this, because I think this is going to turn out really good.
Each podcast we get with more than 5 likes, we will add another camera.
Every 5 likes, we will add another camera.
Yep. So, like, if we ever hit it big.
If we ever hit it big, we're going out of business.
Yeah.
Please play. Please play again. Thanks, Tim's.
I'm like surprised at like Tim Hortons, like the legality of roll up through him, because it's essentially gambling. Like, it is gambling.
It is.
Like, I know so many people who like almost never buy Tim Hortons coffee and join roll up through him. They're just like buying it every day. Just so they can have that little like bit of like joy at the end where it's literally a lottery ticket. Like
I think it's good gambling though. I think there's such a thing as good gambling.
Yeah. Like
Tim
you get a
Hortons
product with it, right?
Yeah, well that's the thing. You buy what? $1.50 coffee.
Yeah.
Roll it up, and 9 times out of 10 you get please play again.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you're like, oh well, I had a nice coffee.
5 times out of 6.
Oh my gosh. But I don't know. I just think when you do win, it's just that nice little like, it's that rush.
Yeah, essentially. So like when roll up through him season is done, I'm probably just gonna start buying lottery tickets.
Oh man. That'd be scary though if you got to that kind of addiction through Tim's. Do you think you could sue Tim Hortons over that?
No, because like you made the decision to like purchase the lottery tickets.
Well, yeah, but think about the whole court case with the person spilling hot coffee on themselves. They made the decision to have the fucking coffee on their lap.
Did they win that though?
Yeah, they won.
Okay,
they won.
Well,
and they made millions.
That's more about faulty product design on Tim Hortons' part.
Was it? I thought it was against McDonald's.
Okay, well, whatever company it was against, like, I didn't remember it was Tim Hortons. That's more about, like, how they design the coffee cups and stuff. This is just, like, something they offer, and you can't just blame it for, like, you getting addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, lottery tickets are just, like, I worked with a number of people during the summer. Well, just, like, the one guy I worked with who would just spend, like, $20 each week on lottery tickets.
Oh,
and then,
damn.
And, like, sometimes, and, like, almost all the time he'd end up losing. Like, sometimes he'd come in and just be like, yeah, I won $12 playing the scratch and win on Friday. And I was like, well, I mean, why don't we put that against all the tickets, all the money you've lost?
Okay, but the thing I think is you were working at Home Hardware. This guy is working there probably for the rest of his life, you know? But if he does win, he does, that's his ticket out, you know? And, like, what's $20 really?
Well, I'm just saying $20 every week, $80 a month.
I don't know.
Right?
I think when people think about that stuff, like, think about it. $20 at most jobs, you get, like, let's say at Home Hardware, you get paid almost that in an hour.
Yeah.
That's an hour worth of work.
Yeah.
Like, think about that in, like, bigger terms. An hour of your life is so minute. It's like, who cares, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess with the lottery ticket, you're kind of just buying, like, the hope. You're essentially purchasing hope. You're purchasing the right to dream about a life you will never have. You know what I mean? Like, that's like you just buy it, and you're just like, for those brief seconds you can think about, like, how much better your life could be. And then you just, like, open it up, your hopes get crushed, and then you, like, the week goes by, you have no hope, and then you buy the lottery ticket again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how people get addicted to it. They're just like, I want to live in a world where it's possible that I'll be a multi-millionaire.
Wouldn't that be so sick, though? Just having $1 million for doing nothing.
Yeah,
like,
well, someone's got to win.
That's winning at life, in my opinion. That's winning at life. It's not doing anything, but just getting millions. I mean, I guess it could be kind of unfulfilling after a while when you're like, I didn't really earn any of this. Or do you think that would be... Do you think that would cross the person's mind?
If I won the lottery, I would stay in school. Like, I would not change my life at all. Because I wouldn't, like, you could just bum around and just, like, party all the time, but that's gonna get so old. You know what I mean? Like, you actually have to have a life where, like, you're doing things.
Yeah, that's true. See, okay, I'm thinking lottery, like, the millions, you know? Like, winning 6.5 million or something like that. Yeah. I think I would stop school and then just go pursue something that I want to do with school. Because now I can just kind of, like, buy the equipment, like, for example, film. Yeah. If I won this, I would just pay to get, like, top-notch film schooling. and then just kind of guarantee
Yeah,
a
you
spot
pay
in
for
film.
like Leonardo DiCaprio to personally tutor you.
To just yell in my face while he's doing method acting. Just,
Yeah.
look at me! Smashes his hand on some glass and then wipes his blood all over my
Man,
face.
speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, last week when I got home, when we were hanging out with you guys, I started watching The Departed. It was like midnight when I got home, and I watched almost the whole movie.
Damn.
Like, it's such a good movie. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's this movie about like Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio. Those are the two co-stars, and like one of them is a mole in the cops. Like he pretends to be like a private investigator, and he's like leaking everyone to like the head of some mob who's like played by Jack Nicholson, and then DiCaprio is like infiltrating the mob, and they both are trying to figure out who is who. You know what I mean?
Damn.
It's such a good movie, man.
Oh, but the ending is just brutal
yeah.
too. Not gonna spoil it for you at home, but
Yeah.
it's really good. And that's good cinema. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the kind of cinema that's kind of starting to fall away
Mm-hmm.
from Hollywood, because I think this is the biggest problem with capitalism. Is you eventually hit that point where making money is the only thing that matters now.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't matter the quality; it's all about quantity.
Yeah.
You know, like Hollywood is just about making as many movies that'll sell as possible. It's not even about like the artwork behind it, the deep meaning,
Yeah.
like these beautiful written stories with convoluted narration
Yeah.
and like plot twists. And I miss that. Like
Yeah.
me personally.
Well, yeah, the thing with like when companies get big, normally they become like publicly traded, and then the expectation is that you continuously raise profits.
I've never
like,
understood that.
Like, well, because if you have investors who are expecting to make money, so like if you look at Tim Hortons for instance, like they used to have some of the best coffee in town. They're now trade publicly. Like the investors expect them to make more money, so they started cutting costs. Next thing you know, a lot of people don't like Tim Hortons coffee. Is where I'm going.
It is weaker.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? Tim Hortons, you didn't even actually sponsor us, so we're gonna shit on you
Yeah.
like so hard right now. Your coffee's been watered down
Mm-hmm.
in the past few years. All right, I still love you, but
And then you also have that with like movie companies where they're just like, we need to make more money, so we're just gonna pump out like 15 movies this year. They're all gonna be like B quality movies, but hopefully one of them goes viral, and then you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it's not about like making actual like artistic movies anymore.
oh man, dude, artistic vision doesn't really matter. Like there's a few.
Yeah,
There's Quentin Tarantino. I'd say is probably the most predominant
yeah,
auteur nowadays.
yeah. Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Scorsese. I think it's Wes Anderson that does Budapest Hotel.
Yep.
Hold on, let me fact check myself.
Yep.
It is?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I love his style. Because he has, for those of you at home who really enjoy film and stuff like that, he has this really weird, it's almost like a fetish, like in the film fetish,
Oh.
for the wide shot take.
Oh, yeah.
Where someone's just booking it. Like, just
Yeah.
booking it on the screen, but the camera's like 200 feet away. The guy's just... and it's just ridiculous. But it's something that's so true to him that it's just like, damn, that's Wes Anderson right there, you know? And it would just be like people running down hallways, streets, and it would just be like shot of
Yeah.
that. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's such a weird but unique thing that just defines him.
Yeah.
And a lot of directors I find don't have that defining style to them. They just kind of play it by the books, do exactly what you're supposed to do, just make a kind of textbook film, you
Yeah.
know? Every superhero movie is textbook. There's no uniqueness. There's no creativity in these movies. They're the exact same textbook.
I mean, did you see the ending of what was the name of the Avengers movie that came out?
Infinity War?
Yeah, did you see the ending of that coming?
Oh yeah, I did. You know why? Because I read the fucking comic. You know, like they're
Okay.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. Okay, spoiler alert. Everyone's probably gonna come back, or at least like 95%.
Well,
of people.
they've announced Spider-Man movies that are coming out, and he died in
Like,
Infinity
what
War.
did anyone actually be like? Oh, they killed off all the heroes. No, like they killed them off for like 3 seconds, and then they're all gonna come back. So it's like whip the fucking doo-dah day. Like, there's no like real consequences in any of these movies. Like if they killed Tony Stark in that, I think it was the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was one of the last Marvel movies that I liked. When he grabs the nuke and sends it
Like
into
the one
this
in
like
New
portal.
York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just that fear on his face, and he thought he was gonna die. That was a beautiful moment in cinema. Like I personally, like I felt that fear, you know? Like
Yeah.
I felt like he's gonna die alone in space. Like how terrifying would that be? But then he came out alive. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
classic Hollywood, you know? But that's enough. That's enough ranting about cinema for me. But speaking of good cinema, let's talk about Fargo, because I personally have just finished the first season of Fargo. And for those of you at home, Staminator, watch this show. Do you like how I pointed at the camera there? That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
huh?
that's an effective use of the
Yeah.
camera right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure it's used to its full potential.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, Fargo is an unbelievable show.
Unbelievable.
Like, you want to talk about... You just went on this rant about how movies have are predictable and stuff. Like, Fargo is not that at all.
I had no idea what the fuck was gonna
Yeah.
happen, like, ever. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. The way that they were able to, like, bring
Malboy?
Leslie Nygaard,
Okay.
like, so close to getting caught, and then pull him away, and you think he's safe, and then,
Yeah.
like, it's just this roller coaster of, like, who the fuck's going down next, you know? It reminds me a lot of, like, the early Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
you know? But,
Yeah, it's like, it's the kind of show that, like, kills, like, in the first episode, you have these characters who you think are going to be along for the whole season, they just get killed. Like, I'm not going to get into details. But, like...
wait, are we talking Fargo, or?
Fargo.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the first episode. Think about what happened at the end of the first
Oh
episode.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I could not. Oh yeah. Let's not spoil this, but I could not believe they killed some of the people. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that person was gonna be was gonna be one of the key characters, and then bam.
Yeah, and also what I really like about the show is that there's 3 seasons of it, but each season is in a different time period, is a completely different story. So it's like you're watching just a mega movie, you know what I mean? It's all gonna get wrapped up in 10 episodes. Like, there's gonna be the whole, like, climax of the season, right? There's not that much build up because they only have 10 episodes to do it. So it's just like every episode crazy stuff is happening.
Every episode is jam packed with shit, and I love
Yeah.
that. And is it Bob Thornton or
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah.
He does a great job as the henchman.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. What's his name?
Malboy.
Malvoy.
Yeah.
You just said it like 5 seconds ago. Malvoy, the way he's able to be so menacing, but
Yeah.
yet so small and scrawny,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like, I would be terrified of him in real life, even though he does not have a menacing physique in any
he's
sense
not
of the word.
jacked
you
or
know?
anything. Like, he looks like he was able to play it off at one point in the season like he's some sort of small town pastor in order to get out of jail.
Oh man, that was
Yeah.
great. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
That was another big twist. Sorry for those of you who may have just had that great twist spoiled, but
It's gonna happen. you know?
it's gonna happen. But we talked about Game of Thrones a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And I want to go on that because season 8 is in a month and 5 days, my friend.
Woo!
A month and 5 days. And have you seen the new trailers?
I have.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I'm really excited to see the. Oh my gosh, what do they fucking call it? I can't remember anyone's
The White
name.
Walkers?
No, the Unsullied. The Unsullied.
Unsullied, okay.
I want to see them in a real battle, you know? Because it seems like every fight the Unsullied have been in is either killing rich people in masks with knives or just slaughtering King's Landing? Or
No.
where did the
The Lannisters.
Casterly Rock?
Casterly Rock,
Yeah,
yeah.
it just like it seems like never. It's never a close fight, you
Yeah.
know, and that's kind of annoying me because I'm like, what's the point of these super soldiers?
Well, we're gonna be seeing them in the north, I would guess.
Oh, that would be cool. I
Yeah.
hope they do different armor for them though, like
Yeah.
like northern. I would like to see. It would be cool if they had some Stark Winterfell like furs on and shit
yeah.
like that. Because if they're wearing their fucking muscle shirt,
Yeah.
leather armor. That's gonna look ridiculous.
Gonna freeze to death. Freeze their balls off.
man.
Oh wait.
Oh, but dude, I'm getting way too deep into the conspiracy theories
Oh, yeah?
of Game of
It's a bit of a
Thrones.
rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, have you heard the one about Peter Baelish, Littlefinger? How he might not actually be dead? And
Like that,
Face swapped or something?
like honestly, we're hoping to get like a whole monitor up soon where we can
Yeah.
kind of watch these videos with you.
Okay.
But this theory is the craziest thing because it makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah?
All right, let me break it down for you.
Okay.
Littlefinger is from Bravos.
Yeah.
Littlefinger might know how to use the faceless men's masks. He might have that gift.
Yeah.
And what people believe is there's this woman who came up to him and was talking to him in season 7 in the stables, and Arya was like kind of just sitting back, like listening. And he gives this woman his like this Bravos coin that I'm pretty sure is the coin for like death. Like
Yeah.
if you get that coin, you're dead. So he gave it to her, and if you watch the end of season 7, Littlefinger loses who he is as a character. He kind of starts to become softer, is panicking under pressure, can't really outsmart anyone anymore, you know? Like it seems like
Yeah.
he lost it. And that's because he put his face on that woman and left her there in Winterfell while he left because he knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
Because there was one moment where he looks and like he's got this smile on his face. I think it was like episode 3 or 4. And that look was something like, I know what you guys are doing. I ain't falling for that shit.
Yeah.
And he yeeted out of there.
Okay.
While they think they killed him with this masked person.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the video later, but it is insane. I think it's such a strong theory. And if Littlefinger comes out of nowhere later on in the season, I'm going to be beyond happy. Because he was a really good character. I think they kind of played him a little poorly in the final season,
Yeah, he kind of lost his edge.
right? It seemed like he just kind of got weak and soft and not Littlefinger,
Yeah.
you know? But who do you think is going to be the first big character to die in season 8?
The first big character to die. Cersei Lannister.
No! Wow! Oh my gosh, you think Cersei Lannister is going to be the...
She is pregnant, so I don't know if they want to kill her off quite
Oh
yet.
my gosh. Now, okay. If Game of Thrones did that... if Game of Thrones did that, that would be insane. That would really bring back that old feel of Game of Thrones where you have no idea who's going to die. Because Cersei Lannister, to me, I think she's going to die, but I think she's going to die near the finale. I think either Tyrion or Jaime Lannister are going to be the first to die.
Jaime Lannister, eh?
He needs to die. Honestly, he's gotten out of too much shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he should have died when he went for Daenerys
Yeah.
in that battle, and the dragon turned to him, and then
I want to see
saved his
Cersei
life.
kill Jaime.
That would be
That would be
wild.
the thing I'm most excited about is season 8 is that I think the last 2 seasons, the unpredictability, they've kind of lost it a little bit. When you compare to the first 4 seasons of the show, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But season 8, it's like there's not really gonna be much gain from not killing off characters. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like this is the end, right? So I feel like a character like Jon Snow, for instance, they would not kill him off in a season before the final season because they want to keep him around, he's a fan favorite. But now it's the show's almost done, so there's not as much loss from killing off main characters like that.
And it's what the people want too.
Yeah.
It's no way. All right, hold on. We're gonna take a brief.
Yeah.
All right. The rest of this is gonna be without a camera. Sorry, everyone. Ran out of battery. That's how it is in the low budget world. But I mean, the camera's cool, but it's more about the content of what our brains have to say that matters, you know? Because our brains are still intact, so we're still good.
Yeah, you can still hear the beauty of my voice. You might not be able to see my physical.
Your physical beauty, but the...
You can see what's behind the face now. I'm not just a pretty face, right?
You're not just some fucking eye candy for
Yeah.
the show. Oh, man. But what were we just talking about? Game of Thrones. I wish they killed Jaime. I wish they killed Jaime in season 7.
Yeah.
I wish the Mountain killed him at the very end, because I was so ready for that when he was like, what you're doing is wrong, Cersei, and then he went to leave and the Mountain was there.
Yeah.
I was like, put him down, put him in a chokehold, and just finish him.
Yeah.
Because that's what it needed. It needed that dark,
Yeah.
Cersei's a badass and is willing to do whatever the fuck it takes.
Well, yeah, if you look at season 7, like, I don't think there were any notable character deaths of actual fan favorites. Like, Peter Baelish died, but he wasn't really, like...
He dropped off, you know?
yeah, and, well, he just wasn't really a character that people were, like, rooting for. Like, if a Stark had died, that would have been crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if Jaime had died, that would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
There was, Marjorie Tyrell. What's the grandma's name?
Oh,
Olenna Tyrell.
Yeah.
That was crazy, but at the same time, she was an old lady, and she wasn't a main character in the show.
Her use was up too.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't really matter if you killed her or not, because I don't know.
Yeah, and then like the Sand Snakes died. Like, who cares?
I think people were more happy about that one.
More
Just like,
relieved,
oh,
if
thank
anything.
God, those
Yeah.
dumbass characters. They were not cool in any way.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. It was so bad, man. But also, a lot more people should have died getting that White Walker,
Okay.
because they killed off the priest,
Yeah.
who was like a fun character, but no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
Jorah Mormont should have died.
Yeah.
Tormund, I think if they killed him off, that would have been wild.
Didn't he die at the end of the season?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, okay, I love Tormund, but the scariest thing for me is he was on the wall.
Yeah.
The wall went down. Teasers came out. He wasn't in one. Him and the other Night's Watch.
Yeah.
That's Jon Snow's
Well, they're also
good
not
friend.
main characters, so I wouldn't expect them to be in the teasers.
I would expect Tormund to be in the
Okay.
teaser. People love Tormund.
Yeah. But they might just be also doing that just to keep the suspense
Yeah.
going, right?
If so, that's very well done.
Yeah,
Very well done. Because
well-
I'm terrified. I want
Man
like
is shook.
because if he was gonna die in the White Walker battle, he's
Yeah.
not gonna die on the wall, right? Tormund is too good for this. And it's breaking my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good character. That one thing that surprised me is, well, I guess not surprised me, but one thing that's really impressed is how deep every character seems to be, like their internal, I guess, character developments throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like everyone has their own thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's good writing. And that actually brings me up to my next point that I wanted to bring up to you. HBO, Amazon are now kind of taking control of this, I guess, premium TV shows where it's the budget.
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay.
Like, have you seen Jack Reacher? They're making a Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
TV series. Like, they're bringing TV to the next level.
Netflix is doing a fair
Netflix
amount.
originals. Like, do you think that could actually end up hurting the movie business and almost taking over?
HBO's been making premium shows for decades now. Like that's how they started off as a company.
Yeah, but
So-
but I find it's becoming a lot more of a fad, and a lot
Yeah.
more people would prefer to stay home and watch a series
Yeah.
than to go out and watch one feature-length film.
Okay.
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like the movie industry is soon gonna start to kind of erode because people would rather watch a show that can have all this character development that one movie can't have,
Yeah.
and two, I think people in the film industry would prefer to do that because they have a lot more room
Yeah.
to actually expand, because it's a lot harder to do a strong character development if you only have an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know? Like, why do you think all the good movies are 2.5 hours to 3 hours? It's because there's not enough time
Yeah.
in a 1 hour. So what do you think?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like TV shows have like, if you look at shows that were like from like the 80s or the 90s, the vast majority of them are like, a lot of these shows are just like all contained into episodes. Like, I don't know, I used to watch like Knight Rider, and like each episode just like a different story with the same characters. But like now, like it's becoming more and more common where it's like now the norm is that all these shows are like overarching stories, where like you actually have a full story. It's not just a bunch of little stories.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like I think like people are just taking more advantage of the creativity that you get at your hands when you're developing a show.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have so much room
But then
No.
again, like if you look at like all of the big name actors, none of them. It's very rare to see a big name actor on television. Like
That's true. That's true. Like Leonardo DiCaprio would never go. Matt Damon, all that.
yeah. Did you hear that Steve Carell and the producer of The Office are teaming up to make a new TV show for Netflix?
What?
You didn't hear about this?
I didn't hear
They're
about
making
this.
a show based on Trump's announcement, like I think it was a year or so ago, about he's like making a space force. So they're basically making like this I don't really like I think they're just like beginning development right now, so it's gonna be years before it comes out. But they're like making this like mockumentary kind of show about basically like all of these people, kind of like The Office except in space. Like,
That's sick.
yeah.
That I love mockumentaries. I think
Yeah.
mockumentaries is one of the best styles
Yeah.
of comedy television out there. Because one thing I think has become a huge thing is people like real. People like characters that feel real. They don't like almost the over-exaggerated characters, you know? Because back in the days, when you make a movie, characters were supposed to be kind of exaggerated to the sense of non-realistic. Like a hero is not supposed to be real, you know? Like they were supposed to be good in all senses and all that. But now we like this like internal turmoil
Yeah.
of even the most purest characters. So I think that's why mockumentaries work so well, is because it's just real people. Well, quote unquote real people.
Yeah. Speaking of mockumentaries, didn't you want to discuss something about The Office?
Oh yeah, actually, I was watching this video earlier. Hold on while I try and find the name. But this guy was talking about his rankings of The Office, and what a surprise! 8 and 9 were at the bottom. But this guy,
I would agree with that.
oh yeah, like hands down, without Steve Carell, the show is worse.
Yeah.
Like no one's denying that. But this guy went out so far to say that these videos are unwatchable. Like, sorry. This season 9 was unwatchable. He's like, I can't get through it again. And I'm like,
I've probably watched the majority of season 9, 3 times. Like,
okay, it's not as good, but it's still good.
Yeah.
I think people are kind of over upset about it, you know? Like, it's still a good show, but it's just because it's not exactly what
Yeah.
it was before.
it's definitely not great. Like I would say it's definitely watchable. Like there's episodes in there that I enjoy. Like I was talking to a guy a couple days ago, and he was just like, "Yeah, once Steve Carell left, I stopped watching." And I was like, "Yeah, I would definitely like recommend watching the last 2 seasons. It was good. Like it wraps the story up really well. It probably has like probably one of the best finales in like all of television.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
And like there's definitely episodes in there that are kind of duds. Like there's storylines and stuff that are kind of like sus. Like I didn't like the stuff with Jim and Pam's marriage. I don't think it was terrible. Like a lot of people like hate it, but
the marital
I
issues?
just didn't really care for it.
See, for me, that gave it a whole new sense of like a realistic
Yeah.
look, because it shows that even though they seem perfect for each other, life's not always going to be that honeymoon phase where everything works out and everything's perfect.
Yeah,
you know?
but the problem with it was that it just kind of came out of nowhere. And what really came out of nowhere was like when they started introducing characters from like the production crew.
Oh,
with, like,
that was kind of
That
weird.
was so strange because there was like no context for that. Like it came out of nowhere, and like it just makes you like question all of this like whack stuff that happens in the show that the production team just like watches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like
if you watch the whole show from the perspective that there's like a whole camera crew there, like there's so many scenes that are just like that don't make any sense, and they just introduced that element like the last season. Then you're just like, wait a second.
Yeah, I didn't really get like the whole audio boom thing, because
Yeah.
like that's not what they do. They had mics on them. They say like, everyone take your mics off. So it didn't make sense for that one guy. Like that guy was only holding a boom just so he
Yeah.
could hit the guy in the face when that guy came at Pam. Although to be honest, that scene right there, like, do you remember that
Yeah.
when the guy drew that and then he got in a fight with Pam? That scene is actually so dark when you think about it. Like that guy was going up ready to like beat the shit out of Pam.
Yeah.
And I was like I felt uneasy when I was watching that. I
Felt
was like,
that.
ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they're not as good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as good, but I still think they're funny enough to
Yeah.
watch.
Like all we watch them even.
But yeah, I think they did the marital thing good though, because like think about it. Jim went to Philadelphia to work on his new job, and they had 2 kids. Like to me, that made sense why they were having this whole issue, because he's living his dream Meanwhile, Pam has to kind of stay in Scranton and live in reality.
Yeah.
And she tried to live her dream and she failed. And like, imagine how that would affect
Yeah.
you if like you failed at a dream and now your spouse is getting to live their dream while you're stuck kind of dealing with the shitty stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
it just felt like there was no like, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, relationship problems were not like an element that was like present on the show,
Oh.
right?
Oh,
and like it
yeah.
kind of felt like shoehorned in just because like they weren't really. There wasn't like Steve Carell was gone. They were struggling to find like good storylines, so they just decided to make up like these arguments between Jim and Pam that like you saw like no like it came out of nowhere. Like they were literally like the perfect couple until season 9, and then all of a sudden they were on like the brink of divorce after like 6 episodes.
I think they made it a little too intense. Like I could see like them having problems, but they were like ready to give
Yeah.
up. I can see that. I think they took it a little too far and exaggerated it, kind of losing some of that realism, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
What-
what would you say your favorite seasons were?
that's tough.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think season 2 might be my favorite with the Olympics, the Dundies,
Yeah.
all that. But seasons like 4 and 5 are pretty good.
Yeah.
When Holly came in, I liked when Holly came in because it was really nice to see Michael find someone. You know,
Yeah.
like that just made at least me just had a warm feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh, he actually did find someone.
Yeah. Well, like, there's definitely different things I like about each season.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, season 3 and 4 have definitely... Or season 2, 3, and 4 have, like, the funniest episodes. But, like, even in, like, season 2, like, Michael's still, like, kind of a character that you don't really like. Like, he's still a bit of, like, a dick, and you're, like... And, like, if you start to actually, like, genuinely like Michael as the seasons go on, right? So I would say that, just, like, season 6 and 7 aren't as funny as season 3 and 4, but, like, I feel like the storyline on those seasons are a lot stronger.
Yeah, it seems like they start to
Yeah.
play up Michael's dumbness instead of his kind of his rudeness.
Yeah, they kind
By
of
the
just...
end?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. But,
Yeah, I would probably say my favorite season, probably season 3.
Oh,
Like, when, like, the season that ends with Jim and Pam getting together, like, for real. That's what happens at the end of the season. Because, like, all of the episodes after the branches merge are just, like, unbelievable.
oh man,
Like, how,
that's so
how, like,
true.
each episode another character, like, quits or gets
Quits.
fired.
Oh man, dude, it's so hard to pick a favorite season
Yeah.
because you just brought up all that. There's Prison Mike in season 3.
Yeah.
They have the whole, like when they're welcoming in the new employees and the big guy can't get on the fucking table.
But then again, I was watching season 5 the other day, and you know what episode's in season 5?
What?
The duel
The duel. Oh no.
between Andy and Dwight. And I was watching the episode the other night when, like, Aaron first gets on the show. And, like, this is right after the whole Angela thing. And, like, Dwight comes up to Andy. He's just like, I'm going to assume when you were talking to Aaron that some blood rushed to your penis. Well, the same thing happened to my penis. And Stanley's just sitting there like, what? He's like, and Dwight's just like, I don't want it to be another Angela. Like, it's just so funny, man.
Oh man, that's fucking great. You know what I enjoy watching almost just as much as the actual episodes is the bloopers
Yeah.
behind The Office. They're great. For those of you at home who haven't seen the bloopers, watch them because they're just fun, and it's kind of cool to see how the show's made, and you see the art of trying to get through something really funny without laughing. Because you think about it, like first time you saw most Office episodes, it was so funny. Like the jokes were so funny. Imagine trying to deliver that without laughing or without even smiling. You have to take everything everyone says seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they did it. Like especially Dwight, man. Holy shit. Okay, who is your favorite character on The Office?
That's a tough one. I can tell you who's not my favorite character.
Yeah, yeah. Who's your least favorite character?
I don't like Phyllis. Phyllis sucks,
No,
man.
Phyllis is hilarious.
She's the kind of woman who, like, wants everyone to think she's really sweet and stuff, but really she's, like, a vindictive. Like, I don't want to
Dude.
say it. Like, but she's, like, I was watching the episode last night where she's, like, blackmailing Angela up to telling like threatening to tell everyone about her and Dwight, and she's just like being like the worst to Angela. Like,
Yeah, but fuck Angela, man. Like,
I'm not
she's-
saying it's not like completely unjustified.
I don't
but
know.
It's just like, and then like she just like says so much rude stuff. Like if you actually watch the show closely, like there's so much stuff that happens that you're just like, man, Phyllis, you're being really mean right now.
I think that's like all the characters though.
Yeah.
They each have like that little moment where they'll just
Well, like Jim's just a dick. Like I don't think you can deny that Jim is like you like him because he's the main character of the show and he's funny. But like if you watch like a lot of the stuff he does from the perspective of like the people he's like, think about like if you were Dwight and you had this guy just like messing with your shit like all the time, and then I'm watching an episode where like Andy's like playing like his like this whack ass guitar thing. That makes this like super at the Christmas party. That makes this super.
Oh.
And like Jim comes up to him and just like, "Oh, do you take requests?" And Andy's like, "Yeah, man." And Jim's just like, "Please stop." Like,
no, that was perfect.
it's funny, but like if like imagine if someone did that to you when you were just like trying to like play the piano or something, and some guy comes and he's just like, "Stop."
Stop, please.
Like
Yeah, I mean, I think the episode that perfectly embodies that is the when Michael Scott falls into the koi fish pond.
Yeah.
And then they get the video evidence, and it shows that Jim like
yeah.
leaned away. Like, oh man. But I think that was a good talk about The Office. Oh, actually, sorry. One last thing. This video I was watching before, they hate Robert California. They hate him.
Oh, you
Like-
can't. I enjoy Robert
I
California.
thought he was like, they're like, oh, he was such a creep. He was so weird. I'm like, yeah, but, and they're like, that's not The Office. I'm like, that is The Office. Like, what are you saying? It was so cringy and so awkward.
Yeah.
And
I
like
think the
just so
problem
weird.
is I think the problem is that he's probably comparing Robert California to Michael Scott, which like you can't compare someone. Michael Scott's probably the best character in like television history, right? Obviously Robert California's not going to live up to that.
Yeah.
But I just think there was so many funny scenes. Like that scene where like he's talking with Jim and like he's like explaining something to Jim. He's like, Jim, do you want a sexual metaphor or an animal metaphor? And Jim's just like, oh, definitely animal. And he's just like, when two animals are having sex.
Yeah, like that's funny. That's funny. Like, and that to me is Office
Yeah.
comedy. But and the whole thing about people comparing the new like bosses and shit to Michael Scott, you can't do that, or you're always gonna hate the
Yeah.
characters. Because, like you said, no one can compare. You gotta just see him as a brand new character.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought it was a fresh perspective. I thought
Imagine
it was
if like,
weird.
imagine Robert California and Michael Scott interacting.
That
at
actually
one
would have
point.
been amazing.
Yeah.
If he was the CEO and Michael Scott's just like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, good show.
Definitely a show that had better seasons than others, but I would say it's overall. It's
I would-
high quality television.
I would say it's one of the most consistently good shows though, because like while there are some seasons that are better, I would say there's no season that I hate
Yeah.
or that I would not watch again. Not like Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Season 4, they changed it up now so it's watchable. Oh, that was bad. That was
Yeah.
so bad when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watched it, right?
Tried to.
Oh yeah, I remember. I got halfway through the first episode. I'm like, this isn't even the same show.
Yeah.
What is this shit? But that's for another podcast. But damn, that was a long talk about The Office. But I think we went into a nice
Yeah.
in-depth analysis. But
So do you want to touch on sports before we
yeah,
call it a
that,
day?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's bring this to the FYSA. Yeah, FYSA.
Eventually, it's going to take him less than 30 seconds, I swear.
Foolish Youth Sports Analysis. So let's take it to the NBA, and let's talk about the only thing that actually matters in the NBA, which is the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, yeah.
Big win a few days ago.
Last night, you mean?
Yeah, but I don't know when I'm going to get this.
Oh, okay.
Get this podcast.
So it was a
out.
game on Friday night, which may or may not have been last night, against the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take the wins we can get, but like, is anyone really that excited about beating the Pelicans?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that you should win,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's kind of like the game on Sunday against the Pistons. Like, they should have won that game.
That
Like,
Fuck, man. They were actually going off, though. You have to admit, the Pistons were sinking threes.
Oh, yeah.
Like nothing.
Well, like, even the Rockets game was definitely the embodied. The Rockets game is probably one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched.
Oh, my
As a
gosh.
Raptors fan, because I watched it, they were just getting smacked around in the second quarter. I believe they were down like 18 at half or something atrocious like that.
And they were down like 25, I think,
Yeah.
throughout the second quarter for a while.
And then in the third, they just have an unreal quarter, and they just like those starters like go off. Like Siakam goes off. Kyle Lowry was doing really well, I believe. And then just in the fourth, I think they hit like seven. The Rockets hit 7 out of 8 threes.
Damn.
Like it was like the 7 of their first 8 threes. Like they had these 2 kids on the bench who were just like going off, and it was just like there was nothing that they could do.
Yeah, and nothing's worse than getting a beating,
Yeah.
coming back, and then just getting beaten down
Yeah.
again. Like, why do you bring our hopes
Mm-hmm.
up just to have them crushed again? Like, that was
Like
a brutal
that third
game to watch.
quarter was so exciting
It
to
was
watch.
beautiful.
They were winning going into the fourth quarter.
And then everything just
I remember
fell
like
apart.
my dad like was watching the second quarter with me. Like, he's like, "You're getting pretty smacked, eh?" Then like I went upstairs at the end of the third. I'm like, "They're up by 2." Then I went downstairs and I just slowly watched my hopes just get destroyed.
Oh, man.
But like it was so 2 losses in a row. That's a super rare occurrence in this season.
And
I think
that's nice.
That's only happened a handful of times. And at the end of the day, like teams do not go 72-10, like unless you're the Golden State Warriors, right? You're gonna have games that you just lose. They're still second or third in the NBA, I believe, right now, and
They're at least second in the East.
they have games that are just super frustrating. But at the end of the day, what matters most is what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think they'll be able to handle their own? Because the Raptors have had a bit of an issue
Yeah.
with kind of performing in the.
I mean, people like say that, but it's not like they've been. I feel like it's been a bit overblown. Like they've won the first round the last 2 years. The year before that, they made the conference finals. Right?
Okay.
They've had. It's just the one thing is that they've lost in the Cleveland Cavaliers 3 years in a row. Right? And now LeBron's out of the East, so
and he's not even gonna make the playoffs.
He's not even gonna make
this
the
year.
playoffs. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's not something like. So I feel like this is gonna be a pretty defining moment for the franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like if they go out in the second round, or like shit the first round.
Oh my gosh.
Then
if they
like
go out in the first round.
the city's going down in flames. Like, and like you have Kawhi Leonard, who's like an elite playoff performer. Like you should have seen. Like he's a Finals MVP. Like he's not the kind of player who's not gonna show up in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and like another thing with like, cause the bench has been just getting destroyed. Like that was the issue with the Rockets game.
Yeah.
You have Fred VanVleet, who's probably our best bench player. Like he runs the second
He's
unit.
a good 6 man.
Yeah.
Like he's a solid.
Yeah, he's
bench
dependable.
leader.
He's smart. Like he's a good shooter, and like when he gets back, I think that's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah.
And like Jeremy Lin dropped 14 points last night, which is exciting because he's been really struggling the first like half a dozen games
Yeah.
he was
I
with the
think
team.
I think Jeremy Lin just kind of needs to get into the flow of the Raptors because they
Yeah.
have a very weird team. Like if you think about it, I don't think there's any other NBA team that has so many mix-up like starting lineups. You
Yeah.
know? And like getting used to shit like that. Like you can even see Marcus Gasol
Yeah.
is still learning. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's so nice to have these seasoned playoff veterans
Yeah.
on the team.
Well,
to
Jeremy
lead
Lin's
us.
not that, but
No, but Marcus Gasol,
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. I think Ibaka now can do well.
Kyle Lowry's a good playoff player.
Kyle Lowry, yeah.
Danny Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny Green's a clutch 3.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I personally think this could be the year.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the year because the thing is, in playoffs you get to play the same team over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the Raptors, once they know how to beat a team, can beat them. You
Yeah.
know? Like, and if you keep playing that, you get at least four games.
Well, look at the Celtics game last
Yeah.
week. Like they just trounced on them, right?
And that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, actually, let's talk about the Celtics for a bit because do you think the Celtics are better without Kyrie Irving? I do.
No.
Yep.
Why?
You look at they get the same amount of points without Irving in there. They won, I think, what was it, like 5 games without him?
Yeah.
And their record was like 3-8 when Kyrie was there, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was like 5 and something when he wasn't, when he was out.
Yeah.
And I think they have so much talent on that team that they don't really need a superstar ball hog like Kyrie Irving.
Well, he's a point guard. He averages like 10 assists a game.
Okay,
I wouldn't
okay,
go-
maybe ball hog's the wrong word, but I don't think they need him. I think Terry Rozier would be a fine point guard to have for them, and just let their new players kind of.
So what do you
take
what are you
control.
suggesting? You think they should like bench Kyrie Irving?
No, they should trade him to the Knicks, and KD should go to the Knicks so that the NBA could actually.
Well,
be
Kyrie
fun to
Irving's a
watch.
free agent this year, so that problem might be taken care of.
Yeah. Oh, I really think he's going to the Knicks though, because have you seen him and
Yeah.
KD talk? They want their own super team.
Yeah, but like in response to that, like it's a small sample size. Like you're talking about a span of 11 games. There can be a lot of different factors that play into that besides just one player.
Okay, that's
I think
fair.
I think you can throw whatever stats you want at me. I just know that Kyrie Irving is like an unbelievable player, and I think there is chemistry issues. I think there's issues with like because you have a team with the Celtics. Because last year on their big playoff run, Kyrie Irving was out, Gordon Hayward was out, and a lot of the young guys had to step up. And now they're on a team where that's not necessary anymore. So I think that's where you're getting the issues from. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that like Brad Stevens, like the coach, needs to work through. Because I think that I think you could make a good argument that right now they're playing better without Kyrie Irving. But like if they can like find a way to work together, they're 100% a better team without Kyrie.
Yeah.
Like, think about how skilled that player is, right?
But it's just the whole problem of finding that way.
Yeah.
Because it's hard with a superstar who wants the ball. Because think about it.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving wants the ball when he's out there. Meanwhile, there are 4. Oh, wait, how many people are out there? 6? 5? Holy
On the
fucking
basketball
shit.
court,
I gotta stop smoking weed.
5 players are on the
Yeah,
basketball
okay,
court.
5 players. We're gonna cut that shit out. So there are 5 players out there, and Kyrie always wants the ball. Meanwhile, there are 4 other people that are just as good with the ball. Fucking Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
What'd I say?
Jaylen.
Jacelyn? Is that what his name is?
Actually, I don't know. Just keep going.
I'm
I think you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
it's spelled JAC though.
okay.
Anyways,
And Tatum,
Yeah.
Rozier, like all those guys don't need to rely on a superstar. And I think when they rely on him, they perform
Yeah.
worse because they don't care. Well, not that they don't care. That's the wrong wording, but they just don't have that pressure.
okay.
But that's just my
It's
opinion.
interesting. We'll see how they perform because they've definitely not lived up to expectation during the regular season. At the end of the day, with all these teams, like you can talk as much NBA as you want, but like what really happens, what happens in like April and May when the playoffs start. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Because playoff teams are just
Yeah.
it's almost night and day sometimes between like how teams play in the playoffs versus just regular season.
Well, like if you look at the 76ers last year, they ended the season with like a 16-game winning streak or something, and it got swept by the Celtics, right? And now they've added like I think like two All-Stars to their team, and they on paper they look like probably the best one of the best teams in the East. But like what comes down to is like how those players play as cohesively as a unit in the playoffs, right?
Oh man, I don't think the 76ers are going to make it far, and it's mainly because of Ben Simmons. Like I know that's kind of harsh to say, but his lack of shooting is such a detriment to that team that they're pretty much playing 4-on-5 offensively now. By how
I mean, he averages like 17 points a game.
Yeah, but
He's an
like have
effective player.
you seen how teams play against Philadelphia now?
Yeah.
When Ben Simmons is out there, they'll just have another man in the paint because they don't have to worry. Like there's no threat from anywhere outside of the paint.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Especially
bad.
he is a small forward. Well, actually, no. His official position on Basketball Reference is a point guard, which just boggles my mind because like he averages 0.1 3-point attempts a game. I don't think he's hit one in his entire. He's never hit a 3-pointer in his entire career. Which is just like I think with him is that he was originally a rugby player. Like I think he's one of these guys that didn't start playing basketball until a few years ago. But like even I can hit at 3.
Like every once in a while.
You know what I mean?
I think he's so scared to hit one or
Yeah.
to even shoot one though now, and
Like he could be an unbelievable player if he could get like he's kind of like LeBron James in that he's like huge and like super athletic, super quick, right? But like he's also young, right? So
yeah. Hopefully he can improve that shot.
I'm interested to see like what kind of factor that's going to be in the playoffs, right?
I think they're not gonna make it past second round.
Okay.
Because of that. That's my prediction I'm making right now. For those of you at home, keep that in mind.
Yeah,
when
write
that
that one down.
happens, you'll know who knew.
I mean, what would be a really bold prediction is that they're not going to make it past the first round. Are you prepared to do that?
No. Because I still think
They might be playing the Celtics in the first round. That's how it's stacked up right now.
Okay.
Because the Celtics are the 5th seed, I believe, and the 76ers are the 4th.
That would be
a crazy first round series.
That'd be a good first round.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But
I'm excited for the playoffs, though.
you know what? We've been going on for a while, so let's end it off with this. Let's talk about LeBron. What happened with the Lakers, man? Like,
They're just not a good team. Like,
it doesn't make sense, though. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, they got a strong, young team. Ingram is pretty good. Lonzo Ball's pretty good.
Lonzo Ball's been injured for 2 months.
Kuzma, yeah, that's true. Kuzma's good. I like JaVale McGee. Well, I don't know. I think they have a solid enough team, and with a superstar like LeBron, why isn't it working?
I mean, he was injured for a pretty extended period of time. So I think like if he played the entire season, they would have made the playoffs. I think he missed something like 14 games or something.
But they can't even win games now with
Yeah.
him back, you know?
Yeah, I think there's definitely issues. Well, what I think really pushed them over the edge was when the New Orleans Pelicans totally snaked them. Did you hear about that? When they basically were in trade talks with them and they leaked all of the trades that the Lakers were offering them. And it basically had like literally every like player on the Lakers except LeBron was in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
And that's gonna cause some animosity in the locker room.
Oh,
right?
that's true.
Right, like when you know, like I remember I think it was Brendan Ingram or something. He was like shooting free throws, and the fans were chanting because there was an away game. The fans were chanting, "LeBron's gonna trade you."
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was so
Right?
funny.
So I think that's a factor, and like LeBron's like I think he's tired. Like he's been in the finals 8 years in a row.
And he's carried the team on his back for like the last 4 years.
And the average player will be done by like May. Like he's like adding 2 months onto his playing schedule. And that like has to wait. I know he gets a break, but at some point he's like 33, 34. At some point that has to weigh on you. So I'm just like I feel like this season is a wash. Like I think this is just a season that nobody's going to talk about when they look at LeBron's career. And what I want to see is what happens next year.
Next year.
Right? When you got like all the young guys are a year old, or maybe they make some acquisitions in the offseason, right?
Do you think LeBron will stay in the Lakers?
Well, he has a contract, so I think he'll stay.
Okay.
I don't think he's not going to demand a trade or anything.
That would be crazy.
That would be ridiculous.
Oh man, but like let's backpedal to the whole Lakers New Orleans. Wow, I can't even speak. New Orleans. Fucking if New Orleans doesn't fire their GM after this season, then they are just complete morons.
Why?
That trade would have been perfect. That was the dumbest trade ever to decline. Why would they keep someone that hates being there so much?
Well,
he's not winning you games
They
anymore.
think they can get more for him.
Oh my
Imagine if
gosh.
they made a trade with the Celtics that include Jason Tatum.
That would be
right?
cool. But
Like Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier.
I don't know,
couple
man.
first
Because
rounders,
I think
right?
other teams will realize now that they're gonna get desperate because eventually,
Yeah,
AD's contract's gonna
his
be up, and
contract's
then they're
running
just
out
gonna give him for free.
after next season, right? So I think like this offseason they have to trade him.
They
like
have to.
he's gonna be peak value. Like they should have traded him at the deadline because like then a team potentially trading for him could have had him for this year's playoffs and all of next year and then potentially re-signed him. Right? The longer you hold on to him, the less value he gets, unless like you can do some sort of sign and trade kind of thing.
Yeah. And also, I think they had a lot of trading kind of ammunition if they had Lonzo Ball, Kuzma, and all that, and it wasn't working with the Pelicans. Those are good young players that they could have traded for picks, shit like that. It's so frustrating too because that would have been a really nice mix-up to the NBA. But I have high hopes for next year because who knows if anyone
Klay
could be...
Thompson and Kevin Durant are at the end of their contracts.
Although, all right, let's be real. If KD leaves, Klay Thompson isn't leaving. There's no way in hell Golden State's gonna.
I mean, maybe he wants his own team though. He's been a sidekick his entire career.
It's kind of annoying too because he's so good.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be a sidekick. But imagine if Golden State was just Curry and Thompson.
just back to basics. Yeah,
Man,
that's
that
what
would
you
be
want.
such a
I would cheer
nice-
for them. Honestly, I loved Golden State before they got Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Even when they weren't even like an elite team, like when they were on the come up, I remember I was a big Steph Curry fan.
Well, he's cool. Him
Yeah.
and Klay Thompson are sick because they're just I don't know. There's something about their kind of I guess quiet demeanor, but like just this brutal gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they'll just silently murder you.
Yeah.
During the game, it was so sick. But now you got this snake Kevin
Now
Durant.
they're OP.
And then the loudmouth Draymond Green
Yeah.
kicking people in the crotch. It's like you just got these crooks on your team
Yeah.
now. You know.
Honestly.
I don't know. But I think that's a good place to end it. Whew, bit of a long podcast. If you made it to the end, now you get the special reward. In the link below, there's gonna be a promo code for a free PS4.
You just need to pay for it.
Yeah. Other. Yeah. Sorry if I got anyone excited, especially you, Tanner. But I guess we'll see you later.